Alright, we're on 1 Samuel and 23. Before we get started, I want to let you know that I am watching these two types of movies. This one is on the third one down, and I'm going to try to watch both of them because they're pretty good. I've done started watching the first one, and I already know this information, but it does help. Alright, let's get started on reading our Bible. Then they told David, saying, Behold, the Philistines fight against Keilah, and they robbed the threshing floor. Therefore David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I go and smite these Philistines? And the Lord said unto David, Go and smite the Philistines, and save Keilah. Keilah. Okay. Excuse me. And David's men said unto him, Behold, we be afraid here in Judah. How much more than if we come to Keilah against the armies of the Philistines? And David inquired of the Lord yet again. And the Lord answered him and said, Arise, go down to Keilah, for I will deliver the Philistines into thy hand. So David and his men went to Keilah and fought with the Philistines, and brought away their cattle, and smote them with great slaughter. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. And it came to pass, now I may not be saying these words right. Number 6, and it came to pass when Abiathar, the son of Ahimelech, fled to David to Keilah, that he came down with an ephod in his hand. And it was told Saul that David was come to Keilah. And Saul said, God hath delivered him into my hand, for he is shut in by entering into a town that has gates and bars. And Saul called all the people together to war, to go down to Keilah, and besiege David and his men. And David knew that Saul secretly proceeded mischief against him, and he said unto Abiathar the priest, Bring hither the ephod. Then said David, O Lord God of Israel, thy servant has certainly heard that Saul seeketh to come to Keilah to destroy the city for my sake. Will the men of Keilah deliver me into his hands? And will Saul come down, as thy servant hath heard? The Lord God of Israel, I beseech thee, tell thy servant. And the Lord said, He will come down. Then said David, Will the men of Keilah deliver me and my men into the hands of Saul? And the Lord said, They will deliver thee up. Then Saul and his men, which were about 600, arose and departed out of Keilah, and went whithersoever they could go. And it was told that Saul and David was escaped from Keilah, and forbare to go forth. Now David abode in the wilderness in a stronghold, and remaineth in a mountain in the wilderness of Zippah. And Saul sought him every day, but God delivered him not into his hands. And David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life, and David was in the wilderness of Ziba in the woods. And Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David into the woods, and strengthened his hand in God. And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel, and I shall be next unto thee, and whatsoever Saul my father knoweth. And they two made a covenant before the Lord. And David abode in the woods, and Jonathan went to his house. Then came up Ziphites to Saul to Gilboa, saying, Doeth not David hide himself with us in the stronghold, in the wood, in the hills of Hachia, which is on the south of Joshmon. And so now therefore, O king, come down according to all the desire of thy soul to come down, and our part shall be to deliver him into the king's hand. And Saul said, Blessed be ye of the Lord, for you have compassion on me. I want you to know, Saul is using Lord here. And I think whenever God departed from him, and God put that evil spirit on him, I think he turned around and started worshiping Satan. But now that is what I think happened. My opinion. All right, go on. Go, I pray you, prepare yet and know and see this place where hurt is, and who hath seen him here? For it is told me that he dealeth very subtly. See therefore, and take knowledge of all the lurking places where he hath himself, and come ye again to me with certainty, and I will go with you. And it shall come to pass, if he be in the land, that I will search him out throughout all the thousands of Judah. And they arose and went to Ziph before Saul, but David and his men were in the wilderness of Maon, in the plain on the south of Joshman. Saul also and his men went to seek him. And they told David, Wherefore he cometh down to a rock, and abode in the wilderness of Maon. And when Saul heard that, he pursued after David in the wilderness of Maon. And Saul went on his side of the mountain, and David his men went on that side of the mountain. And David made haste to get away for fear of Saul. For Saul and his men compassed David and his men around about to take them. But there came a messenger unto Saul, saying, Haste thee, and come, for Philistines have invaded the land. Wherefore Saul returned from pursuing after David, and went against the Philistines. Therefore they called the place Selah Hamath. It may not be right. I don't think it is. Ha ha. And David went up from thence, and dwelled in the stronghold at En-gedi. Alright, we're on chapter 24. And it came to pass, when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David's in the wilderness of En-gedi. And Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rock of the wild goats. And he came to the sheep cods by the way, where was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet, and David and his men remaineth in the side of the cave. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thy hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off his skirt of Saul's robe privately. Alright, now, see, God told David he can do what he wanted to. And David, he chose not to kill him. And he had the opportunity to do so, but he didn't. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. Oh, I don't know why, because it shows that, hey, look, I was here. And he said unto his men, The Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, the Lord's anointed, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is anointed of the Lord. So David stayed his servants, which were words of suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also arose afterwards and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, My lord the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stopped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. So why would David bow himself to another man? And David said to Saul, Wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, Behold, David seeketh thy hurt. Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how the Lord had delivered thee today into my hands in the cave. And some bade me to kill thee, but my eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against the Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed. Moreover, my father see, yea, see the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of the robe, and killeth thee not. How know thou and see that there is neither evil nor trespass in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee, yet thou huntest my soul to take it. The Lord judge between me and thee, and the Lord avenge me of thee, but thine hand shall not be upon thee. As saith the proverb of the ancient, wickedness proceedeth from the wicked, but my hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom doeth thou pursue? After a dead dog, after a flea? The Lord therefore be judge, and judge between me and thee, and see and plead my cause, and deliver me out of thine hand. And it came to pass, when David made an end of seeking the words of Saul, that Saul said, Is this thy voice, my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice and wept. And he said to David, Thou art more righteous than I, for thou hast rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded thee evil. And thou shalt show this day how that thou hast dealt well with me, for as much as when the Lord had delivered me into thy hand, thou killest me not. For if a man findeth his enemy, will he let him go well away? Wherefore the Lord reward thee good for that thou hast done unto me this day. And now, behold, I know well that thou shalt surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in thy hand. Swear now therefore unto me by the Lord, that thou wilt not cut off my seed after me, and that thou wilt not destroy my name out of my father's house. And David swore unto Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men got him up into the hold. Alright, we're on 25, and I'm going to wait on 25 till next week, because I want to go get back to that video, and I want to watch that.